Hi guys, good morning. My name is Arun Goswami, and I welcome you all to my channel, Arun the Coach. And today we are going to shoot one of the video which is considered as one of the most important topic in your personal life, in the professional life, which is very much relevant to all our people who are indulged in all sorts of work, that may be an individual entrepreneur or any sector of any of the corporate part. So the topic is learning and development. This is the topic that has been chosen after a long research of talking to various people, and definitely my experience in this entire corporate world for 19 plus years, where I have indulged with various corporate sectors, and more than 1 lakh people I was involved to deliver my training sessions, the interactions, and various sorts of counseling sessions that I had performed in my career till date. We have to understand in a very simpler manner as far as learning and development is concerned. Learning and development, I always prefer, since I am very much closer to the human psychology, human physiology. So let us connect this learning and development, one of the most important concept in our life, with our breathing system, right? So you all understand breathing system in the scientific terms and terminologies. We call it as respiratory system. So if I just put your attention in the board that I have put across, I have put my points which can give you a broad view picture of the concept of learning and development from the individual perspective, from the corporate perspective, from the growth perspective, as well as human nature perspective or the human interpretation perspective. However, at any point of time, means whatever the trainer is delivering, that has to be understood to the next part of the audience, that is the people who are the trainees. The thought process has to be established so clearly that at any point of time, a trainer can help them to grow, get matured. Growing is not at all linked with what designation you reached in your life, and maturity does not link what age you have attained in your life. Both are different. There is no links between these two factors of our own life. So if training is considered as the backbone for the human being, backbone for the self, and as well as personal life, backbone for any organization, backbone for any leadership position, personal also. And learning is one part of the respiratory system that I call it as the lungs, where all the respiratory system, breathing system, the intoxication, detoxification, all these procedures are taking place. So let us compare metaphorically with this concept of learning. So learning is one part of the lung and development is another part of the lung. So this is the entire concept of our breathing system, because oxygen is very important in our life. So let us compare this oxygen with the life of the employee, employer, organization, and the entire corporate structure. Learning is the concept which is basically linked with the behavior and skill part of the candidate. Candidate can be anybody. It may be an individual candidate, it may be a sector of candidate, it may be consider the people who are in the lower management level. Means what I mean to say, so put some light on this, that let's consider the sector who are going to start their career in the beginning level of their life. Totally, purely it is linked with behavior and skills. You cannot put data on them, you cannot push them. If you push them, then something else will be created or interpreted inside their mind. That I will come later on. when I will be covering this pyramid part. And development, yes, data plays a very important role. This development is data based. At any point of time, if I put this entire structure, it's a strong habit development. The learning, skilling, for example, communication skills, behavioral skills, industrial skills, all these has to be inculcated as a habit, as a part of the habit. Habit cannot be made in a single day. And I am a very strong believer in this concept that there is no technique involved. I have seen so many people are giving some techniques, 7 techniques to become a businessman or entrepreneur or successful. There is no technique. It is basically the concept of creating a strong belief system, shifting the perception and making a new perception and changing to the next level of development or maturity, or you can say growth. And a very important part of all the videos that I will be strongly recommending or accomplishing this thought process is that nothing is wrong and nothing is right. In my belief, nobody is good and nobody is bad in this world. There are 6.8 billion different people existing in this world. So in the psychological terms and terminologies, we call it as mindfulness. Mindfulness does not mean that you should be left alone, you should isolate yourself in some single place and get it in some other state of mind. No, mindfulness is basically aware of everything which is going around you, and you have got a strong decision making power to respond, not to react, respond to those particular situations and make a relevant decision to grow, to mature and develop in your life. Nobody can grow in isolation. This is one of the important factors. And the most important thing, I am a very strong believer, you will also be agreeing with me, that if you help somebody or if you help somebody with a fish, that person can eat a fish for one day and go back. Again, that person will come to you and ask for a new fish. But if, as in this profession, if you help that person that how to fish, then definitely that person will not come back to you, because he will be independently dependent on himself, that how to catch a fish and feed every day. Then the third part, that is the modern era of the learning and development. You have to make sure that that person whom you have taught how to fish, that person should also teach another 10 people how to fish. This is the way that we can create a strong belief system. And that comes my first and prerequisite step as far as learning and development is concerned. In the organization that I have worked, just to share an experience with you, people are very much data oriented. If you do this, how will I get this? No, it should not be. It should be like this, that if these things are happening, every step, what is the data development? You have to keep a rewarding process on continuous basis. Then only the belief system will be created, which is the most important prerequisite, or to understand the learning ability of every human being. It's not that you will conduct a training in a particular session or in front of some 20-30 people, and beyond that you are not going to give them a reward or show them some development through the process, through the help of the data and all. It is basically creating belief, because see, belief, when we come on this in this earth, we always are blank. We used to be blank. At any point of time, we see first and foremost thing, our learning ability starts with what we see. Nobody learns their mother language by writing when they take a birth as a young one on this earth. They see, then they listen, then they hear, then they write, then they read. So try to understand the belief system of a human being. You all are dealing with human beings. So you have to understand your own belief system, as well as you have to inculcate every belief system, every learning technique or learning ability to understand what the person is trying to understand or trying to express in front of you as a trainer or as a leader or as a manager. It's very, very, very important. There are 4 steps you have to make sure in your life. First is self-awareness. You have to aware about your own self. If you understand what is your learning ability, if you understand that what is your belief system, if you understand that what is your reacting ability or responding ability, then only you will understand the person who is expressing everything or trying to establish his thought process in front of you. So it is very important to self-aware. Then only you can manage self. That is the second step of your life. That is self-management. Once you master yourself in self-awareness and self-management, then only you will able to understand the social awareness. Social awareness, the degree of social awareness as a facilitator or a trainer or a leader or a manager is expected to be very high range. It cannot be in the normal level. Means otherwise you cannot able to understand that. So once you master yourself in the social awareness, then only social management can be mastered on. Once you understand the social management, then only you will understand the higher level where you will be in a capability to lead a team, understand the team, guide the team, and make sure you and your team both are growing and maturing together. So come back, I would like to bring more attention on this, that you have to understand the belief system. In my series of future videos, I will definitely explain more. There are some typical process that has to be followed to understand what is your belief system, what is your candidate's belief system, and what belief system the organization is working with. So belief system, when thoughts with different sorts of thoughts from our childhood are developing every moment, every year, every month, year by year, belief system is created. On the basis of the belief system, your perception will be there. In corporate world, people say, most of the people I have seen saying that once you build a perception, it cannot be changed. So I have already said you that there is nothing wrong, nothing right. It's a different opinion. Opinion is also giving an opinion actually, right? So perception is created, but perception can be shifted through the knowledge. And this knowledge has to be imparted on the basis of the learning ability. Is it visual? Is it vocal? Is it auditory basis? Whatever may be, because you have to understand this. You are dealing with human beings. If you are in sales, if you don't understand human psychology, you cannot make yourself as a successful person in the sales profile or this particular profession, right? So once you understand the belief, so whatever I am going to explain, it is for both the trainer and the trainee both, the manager as well as the team player both, the leader and the person who is under that leader or that team member, everything, the organization and the employee, or to be more precise, the employer and the employee. It's applicable for both. It is not for one-sided person, right? It is not a concept that has to be followed by one person. Basically, we are in a mental thought process that everything has to be followed by the person who are in the audience position. No, it is actually the trainer or the manager or the leader who is leading, explaining everything. That person also has to follow this. Because if the trainer has got a wrong belief system, for example, a trainer has been brought up in a very strict condition, in a very different strict behavior. The parents of that particular trainer are were used to be very strict when at the time of childhood. Automatically a belief system is being created in the trainer's mind. that belief system, because every belief system gives an effect, because there was a cause in the past experience. When there is a cause, there is an effect. So belief system has to be maneuvered to the next level for the trainer as well as the audience or the trainee or both. So means in reference to this particular structure, whenever I am going to point out the trainer and trainer means all the leadership position, managers, team leaders, everybody. Automatically the perception can never be changed as per human psychology. It can be shifted. So means whenever I am in a problem, because most of the people, 99% of the people, when they are in problem, they don't know why they are in problem and what is the actual problem. So it is basically being suggested by various people who are dealing with the psychological science that can we solve the problem instantly? No. Can we shift the problem space to a bigger space so that the problem should appear smaller as compared to the earlier thought process? Yes, that can be done. So if I put my problem in a bigger space, I get more space around to think more. So this extra space will help me to maneuver my belief system, my thought process, and definitely the perception will be shifted. So this is a very deep subject, because this is so I am a very big follower of Abraham Maslow. So the first part or the base part, which the foundation part of the human hierarchy level or human needs hierarchy level, are the physiological needs. So this is the physiological needs of learning and development, so that our respiratory system should be fluent enough, or it should be the circulation means the process should be fluent enough. If I move into the next step, once you understand this, the belief system, the perception and the knowledge or the learning ability, prerequisites of learning and development, you will understand what skill is required to that person. So at any point of time, communication skills, we all train about that you have to be a good vocabulary or intonation, modulation, voice modulation, vocal, visual, everything is being considered under communication skills. The first thing to understand in communication skills, what I am saying to anybody else, what that person is understanding, and what I am saying or I'm trying to explain, what are that other person is assuming. That is the most important part of communication skill. So it hits our belief system. Automatically, if that basic concept of communication skill is being explained properly, it is applicable for the trainer also. It is applicable for me also. So it is not necessary that whatever I am expressing through this video, it's 100% being understood by the audience who is sitting on the other side. I am not a perfect person. Nobody is perfect person. I am happy to be imperfect. But yes, it's a process. So whenever I am going to get into the next level through my future videos, I will explain it more conceptually, scientifically, as well as people should understand in a very simple manner. So skills. So everybody is asking about, you have to hone on your listening skills. You have to be the master of listening skills. I should rather say that you have to be perfect in your hearing skills. Because when you listen, you answer. And when you hear, you respond. So you have to develop a habit. And that habit has to be tracked down with some short reward-based programs. And that is the implementation. That will connect to the another part of the respiratory system, data analysis. You have preached or taught something, or you have given one lecture to somebody, or you have done some counseling with any of the candidates. That person you have to track. You cannot track everybody, but if you can help them to inculcate a habit, then definitely the implementation is easy to track down. So I hope that I am making it very, very clear that what are the most important part of learning and development, how this respiratory system be more fluent enough. It should be flowing without any obstacle, without any sort of thing, right? So it should get in a very simple manner, much more simpler manner to the person who is listening or the audience on the other side. So once you inculcate the skill, understand the skill. First is understanding the skill, depending on their belief system and their learning ability. This skill has to be understood. That skill is also applicable. Skill implementation, habit implementation, and to demarcate between the listening skill and hearing skill is also applicable for the leaders, managers, trainers, and everybody who are leading a team or who are delivering any training session, right? So once you understand the skill, then you can help. You are helping that person to have a better interpretation skill. You told him that cigarette smoking is bad for health, it will cause cancer, and it will flush out your hard-earned money. I put it in different way. I've also implemented in my own life. So if you are going to purchase a cigarette packet worth rupees 300 rupees, that 300 bucks you can put it in a saving account. Once you put that saving account, by not smoking a packet or by not purchasing a packet of cigarette, then definitely you are going to be financially strong. How? 300. So how many cigarette packets you consume in a week? 1, 300 multiplied by 4, because in a month there are 4 weeks. So 300 into 4, 1200, 1200 into 12. How much money you have saved this year? Plan out for a means vacation. Give some gift to yourself. Give some gift to your family members. That is one of the way. That is one of the way. So that is, you are working on interpretation skill. Normally, in normal language, we call it as understanding level. Everybody has a different understanding level. Everybody is unique in their life. Everybody has a strength in their life. Being a mentor, I'm not talking about me only, I'm talking about all the aspiring mentors, and definitely I have also been mentored by some mentors in my life. So I'm talking about from their point of view, what I have learned and what they have helped me, because whatever is I'm doing in my life, or I've done in my life, entire credit goes to all my trainers and all my bosses and all my senior people with whom I've worked, and definitely my co-workers, because the biggest exposure that will be given to you by your co-workers. But yes, you react to it or you respond to it. Responsiveness or responding to those incidents depend upon your belief system and perception shifting process. We'll go in deep. So once you help them to interpret, I just taken in one example of cigarette, you can have a different thing. Basic intention of taking this example is how you are saying, that does matter. What you are saying, how you are saying, that also matters, right? So if you have put the things in a very perception based thing from the old school, then it will be interpreted in that particular manner. But if you have put in a very constructive manner, in a very habit formation manner, in a very rewarding manner, then interpretation skills will be different. It would be interpreted in a very different manner, because a human being interprets in emotional level, physical level, rational level, volitional level, as well as the spiritual level. So it is not, you cannot make an assumption that if you have said something to your team member or any trainee or any part of the audience, that has to be taken as a something written on mountains. Nothing. It's not like that. You have to say, you have to express in such a way that once they have interpreted that particular concept, that has to hit in their belief system, and it can help them to transform perception into reality. So once you are successful in doing this, this particular stage of learning and development, believe you me, is the stage when your audience is getting transferring or growing to the team leader position or the responsible position. So you have to help them. Once you help them with the interpretation skill, then they will be capable of deciding what are the motives of their job and what is the purpose of their being as a human being, or the purpose of being an employee of that particular organization. So motives and purpose. In sales language, we call it as motivational trainings or motive. I am a very strong believer that if the motive is clear, then you don't need any motivational trainer or some motivational speech. Motivational speech will help you to clear or shift your perception. But depending upon that, that perception has to be implemented in your daily life. So once you get into this motives and purpose, when your candidate is getting into the mode of motives and purpose, then definitely the candidate will be helping to build his own attitude. This attitude will help them to realize the reality of life, the reality of the product, reality of the organization, vision of the organization, mission of the organization. He will align his own vision with the vision of the organization. He will make or build up a new mission which is aligned with the mission of the organization. Then only a person will be happier to grow. It is not necessary that a person is doing or doing a job for 20 years. It depends upon, is he doing the same thing for 20 years or he has practiced 20 different things in 20 years. Are you understanding? I hope that it is clear. It is very important. Perception shifting. That is the actual stage of perception shifting. Perception has to be shifted. Perception cannot help a person to grow or mature. It is the reality that has to be realized. It has to be encountered or confrontation of the truth. Right? So once you get into that, the person is in a position. This is the stage a person gains a position of leading a team, leading himself, self-aware, self-management, social awareness, social management. So then only he can able to execute various sorts of plans and strategies. So there is a concept in the planning and strategy, very simple. Most of the people, even I do fail in planning. So I implement this. Plan, do, check, act, PDCA. So what is plan, do, check and act? You keep on writing the plans, what you want to do, what are the things. We will go in deep in my future videos. Do it. Once you do it, you cannot experience it. Once you cannot experience it, you cannot check it. This checking can be adjusting also. In some of the organization, it is adjusting. And act. Again do it. Again go back, revisit your plan. So it is a concept, it's a very long process. There is no technique in doing this, right? Then another is, so once you grows from this level to this, then this, then this, then this, then you will be in the position of transformation. In my language, it should not be a transformation definitely. It is a transcendence. Transcendence, apparently people use the transformation process, that is decision making ability. You are in a leadership position. Your decision has to be accepted in such a way that people are making their belief more stronger and stronger. The structure of belief. People are, means by listening your decision, the people under you or the subordinates, they are transforming their perception into reality and more truth. They are enhancing their knowledge. They are motivating to getting their knowledge. They are making their motives and purpose more clearer and clearer and clearer. And every stage they are understanding, who am I? These are the two questions that a transformer can elaborate more properly, because these level has to, that those two to attain the understanding of those two questions, you have to get into the position of transformation. Who am I? Who am I want to become? Only 2 questions. Your purpose, your motive, your passion, your persistency, your perseverance, everything is concentrated in these 2 questions. Who am I? Whom I want to become. Simple. Transformation. Make decisions, capability. Because by this stage, his perception is not perception. Perception has totally transferred into reality. His belief systems are strong. Interpretation skills are perfect. He is not emotionally inclined and he is not rationally inclined completely. He is a wise decision maker, the mixture of emotionalism as well as rationalism, both. Transformation. This transformation is transcendence. So transcendence is basically the last stage of the fish story. I will help 10 people how to fish. They will help 10 more people to how to fish. That is the last but not the least. We will go more deeper into this. Be connected, stay safe. Thank you so much and be connected at Arun the Coach. Thank you. Have a great life.